New post. He cheated and wants to come back. He became distant, angry, accusing me of things. I found out my boyfriend was cheating on me after 4 years together. His behavior changed suddenly. He became distant, angry, and started accusing me of things. I eventually found selfies and hotel reservations on his computer that confirmed the affair that went on for months. He admitted it, but seemed insincere. I left and have been staying with friends. Now, as I'm about to move out for good, he's begging me to stay. Even though I know leaving is the right choice, I'm struggling emotionally and need the strength to stick with it. I, 26F, am making this post mostly because I seek support in sticking to my decision to leave my boyfriend, 26M, of 4 years after he cheated, from people that have gone through this experience. I am trying to keep this as short as I can. I found out my boyfriend had been cheating on me for months while we were living together, for 3.5 years. This relationship was not a toxic one until the moment where I guess he decided I wasn't what he wanted anymore and switched his behavior completely. It all started about 3 to 4 months ago, where my boyfriend hits me with this rage episode all of the sudden. He had done this 2 times in the past, but not to this degree. That had no trigger at all. He suddenly starts yelling and accusing me of things, saying he doesn't feel loved at all in this relationship, how I am not affectionate. We were all over each other, but the sex frequency did start a drop, and I did try to communicate that to him. I was the one that brought up this issue at all times, not him, how he need more passion and he needs something else, and how we should break up. He said the only good thing about me is that I cook food, that I cry about house chores, and I can't even do them right. I was left absolutely blindsided, devastated by this. The next morning when he went to work, I took a day off. I called my parent to come pick me up, told him that he's breaking up with me. Didn't even finish doing that where I get a call from him apologizing. The next months, there was this cycle repeating every day. He would tell me I am the girl of his dreams. He wants to marry me. He would then get sad. He would then get angry. I tried to ask for explanations, even asked if he's cheating a few times. I was a wreck for months trying to figure out his behavior. During these months, he would treat me horribly. He would call me names, get mad at me. We attended a wedding where he said I'd never get a wedding, and who would even marry me. I was shocked by his behavior. He then went away for a week to his parents, and as being advised by my support system, who all thought he was cheating, and I didn't, I snooped through his computer. I found all the pictures on his phone synced to a drive in real time. At first glance, nothing stood out. Then I noticed a bunch, and I mean bunch, of selfies, some of them with kissy faces, sent to someone during these months when him and I were having problems that were not sent to me. I thought it was really weird. Then I find it. A reservation confirmation made on his name for a hotel room booked in the city we live in, specifically on a weekend where I went away to my parents because being around him was draining, and I wanted space for us to figure it out. I confronted him on the phone. He denied at first, then came clean. I cried with him on the phone. He said he doesn't know why he did what he did. I almost felt like he was forcing himself to cry. This happened on Thursday. He left his parents home on a Friday and only came home on Sunday. I am 100% sure he was with her, yet he says he spent the weekend at a hotel because he was scared to face me. I picked some of my stuff up and left, crashed on friends' couches for weeks. I am about to move this weekend. It has been a month since I found out, month in which we had minimal contact. He was either apologizing or being patronizing to me during this month. Now that I am moving, he started begging for me not to do it. He said he'd always wait for me, said he wants me back. I cannot go back. I know the decision to leave seems logical, but I need support. I feel like I am the one going away and ruining our future together. I cannot believe the future that we had is gone. It is so hard for me to imagine I won't go back home and will never be like we used to. I can't stand him crying about it. It makes me feel even worse. So in short, I am asking for motivation to have the strength to leave. Story 2. AITA for telling my father that it was his fault he missed my son's first birthday party. My son turned 1 this past weekend. On Sunday, my husband and I threw a birthday party for him at a local kids venue. We confirmed the date with both the venue and our guests a few months ago. One of those guests was my father. Back when I informed him of the date, he told me he'd come. A few days before the party, he asked if there was any way for me to reschedule it. I said no, as we'd already confirmed everything with the venue. My father then told me he'd be late to the party because there was an event at his girlfriend's church on the same day, and she wanted him to attend. I should say that my immediate family, including my father, is technically Catholic, but none of us practice it. However, my father's girlfriend is very religious, like Jesus as her phone wallpaper religious. Since they started dating, a little over a year ago, my father has been attending church with her on a semi-regular basis. He has explicitly told me he doesn't like it, but does it to make her happy. I told my father I was fine with him being late, as long as he came to the party at some point. He said he'd show up as soon as the church event was done. A few hours before the party ended, my father texted me the event was still going, and he thought it would be in poor taste haste for him to leave early, so he probably wouldn't be able to come. I didn't hear from him again that day. On Monday, my father called me to explain that the event went on for longer than he expected. He didn't apologize, but asked if I was angry at him, and I said yes. He said he had no way of knowing the event would last as long as it did, but that's not what I'm upset about. I told him he still chose to prioritize an event he didn't even want to attend over his grandson's first birthday party, made several other choices that led him to completely miss the latter, and didn't inform me about any of that until the last minute. All of those decisions were his, so the fact he ultimately didn't come to the party was his fault. My father is still refusing to apologize and insists I have no right to be angry over something he had no control over. I'm starting to feel odd about this. My husband is on my side, but my sister told me I'm being dramatic. AITA? Relevant comments. Commenter. NTA. He made his choice, asked if you were upset, was told, yes, you were too, which he said, well, actually, I was expecting you to placate my feelings about missing the party and prioritizing my GF, who is an adult, over my grandson. Don't. You seriously do not need to soothe his feelings. Say to him clearly once more, I'm upset you chose to miss the party. Why you missed it is beside the point. It's not like you were in the ER with a ruptured spleen after a massive car wreck. You were with your GF, period. He doesn't get a free pass on your feelings just because he values his own comfort over yours. OP. During that first phone call, it did kind of feel like he thought he was a victim, as if missing his grandson's birthday party was something that had happened to him, not something his own decisions had led to. Story 3. AITA for refusing to let my younger brother and his family move in with me. I'm a 35M, and I live alone in a house I bought about 4 years ago. I've always been the type to enjoy my personal space, and to be honest, I like having my home to myself. It's peaceful, and after years of roommates and shared living situations, I finally have a place where everything is mine, and I'm really comfortable. Recently, my younger brother, 29M, hit some financial trouble. He lost his job a few months ago and has been struggling to make ends meet. He has a wife, 27F, and 2 young kids, 4M, 2F. They've been staying with her parents temporarily, but that situation isn't ideal because her parents live in a small apartment. He reached out to me a few weeks ago, asking if they could move into my place just for a few months, until he gets back on his feet. Here's where things get complicated. I don't want them to move in. I know that sounds harsh, but the idea of having a family with 2 young kids in my house just sounds exhausting. My house isn't huge, and I'm really used to my routine. Plus, I work from home, so I can't imagine having the chaos of toddlers running around all day. I told him I was sorry, but that I wasn't comfortable having them all stay with me, and I offered to help him out with some money to get them a temporary place to rent. He didn't take it well. He called me selfish and said that family is supposed to help each other in times of need. He also pointed out that I have a whole house to myself and that it wouldn't be that big of a deal to let them stay. My parents are now also on my case, saying that I should step up and let them live with me for a while, especially because I'm in a better financial position. I feel bad because I know they're struggling, and I do want to help in some way, but I really value my space and my peace. At the same time, I'm wondering if I'm being too cold and unaccommodating. So, AITA for refusing to let my brother and his family move in with me, even though they're going through a rough time. Relevant comments. Commenter. Why haven't your parents stepped up to help? Parents are responsible for their children. It is much more their responsibility than it is yours. Don't let them move in. He called you names when you said no. If you let him move in, he will take your home and life over. No, that is wrong. As soon as they move in, it will be their home, and you need to adjust to their rules while paying all the bills and being responsible for their food, toiletries, and diapers. Commenter. NTA. You did not refuse to help family. You offered help in another way. 2 adults. They need to figure their shit out. No one should be forcing you to take anyone in, and you work from home, so that adds a whole other layer to you having to give up space. Let them be mad. Just keep saying no. Offer money if you have it. Maybe damage and 2 months rent. They asked for a few months at your place. That would get them their own, and the time to get their shit together. If they say no to that, then I would say they were planning to stay a lot longer, using you for as long as possible, then eventually kicking them out and you end up in a worse situation than now. Let them be mad. Keep your peace. Commenter. NTA. I hate it when people are, family is supposed to help each other, while conveniently ignoring the similar principle of parents are supposed to provide a stable home for their children. A family of 4 moving into a home of 1 is not helping out. It's a full-blown takeover of the household. You are offering financial assistance, and that is enough. The fact that your brother doesn't want this help is telling. Financial assistance is a temporary solution. Eventually, he's going to have to figure out how to pay rent on his own. This proves that he views moving in with you as a permanent solution. Story 4. AITA for refusing to attend my sister's wedding after she disinvited my kids. So I F28, have 2 kids, 5 and 7, and my sister, F30, is getting married soon. She initially invited my whole family, which I was super happy about. But then, out of nowhere, she decided to disinvite my kids, saying she wanted her wedding to be adult only, and that kids could be disruptive. I completely understand wanting a certain vibe for your wedding, but my kids are well behaved, and they've been excited about Auntie's big day. I tried talking to her, explaining how much it hurt me that she would exclude them, especially since they adore her. She was adamant and refused to reconsider. At this point, I made the decision not to attend the wedding at all. I feel like attending without my kids would be like betraying them, and I don't want to send the message that it's okay for family to exclude them. My sister is furious and has been telling other family members that I'm being unreasonable and making a scene. Now, I'm wondering if I'm overreacting. I want to support my sister, but also stand up for my kids. So, AITA for refusing to go to my sister's wedding because she disinvited my kids. My sister invited my kids to her wedding, then disinvited them. I decided not to attend at all. AITA, relevant comments. Commenter, your sister is allowed to decide to have a child-free wedding. You are allowed to decide not to attend for that reason. NAH, commenter, the sister is a little bit of an asshole for initially inviting them and then taking it back. Commenter, NAH, because yes, you can have an adult-only celebration and you can choose to not attend because of that. Is OP overreacting? Probably. I don't know that the kids need to be stood up for, but I think the difference is inviting the entire family and the kids to know about it, and then changing it partway through the process. That probably made her kids sad. If invites went out to adults only, it wouldn't have ever affected the kiddos and would have been planned for. Story 5. Am I wrong for texting my date that I'm rethinking things because of his actions on our first date? IF27 matched with M28 yesterday. He checked all of the boxes I was looking for, and we had a great date. I let him come back to my place to meet my dog. We had our first kiss, and it was great. Things started getting hot and heavy on his end while I was trying to stay modest, since it was the first date. He started taking off his clothes and trying to take off mine when I repeatedly said, no, this is the first date. I eventually gave in to some things because I was annoyed and thought he might stop if I gave in to this and just wanted it to stop. It kept escalating when he said he wanted to cuddle in my bed. We did not have sex, but we did other things, and he was pushing the boundaries again and again. He would say okay and back off, but then a few minutes later attempted again. I was getting annoyed and gave in to a few more things just so it would end. When it ended, he realized what he did and acknowledged it. When he left, I wrote him a text explaining how I didn't appreciate him crossing my boundaries and how I felt disrespected. He said he was so sorry and thought we were both in the moment. I was at the beginning. But as things escalated, not so much. He told me he wants to make it up to me and that he would let me initiate things when I was comfortable. Should I let him make it up to me? Edit. Hi everyone. Thank you so much for your input. I realize I made multiple mistakes. I usually never ever bring guys over on the first date, but for some reason I felt comfortable, which is not a valid excuse. This is the first and last time it'll ever happen. He has been blocked on everything, and I will never ever let myself be in a compromising situation like this again. I should note that he wasn't trying to get me to have sex with him and was not forcing that part. I would appreciate if people could stop calling me names. Everyone makes mistakes, and this happens to be a huge dumb one, but it doesn't serve any purpose to do that. Edit 2. The amount of victim shaming on here is disgusting. Just because I made a really dumb decision doesn't give him the right to act the way he did. No means no. I understood from this experience why women don't fight back always. Anyways, to those shaming me and not his actions for my poor decision, I acknowledge that I made. I truly hope you never have to go through something like this. Edit 3. Ask questions before you assume. I left details out because it had literally happened an hour before I wrote this. I wasn't thinking straight because of what happened. I did not give him mixed signals. I said no. Stop, and this is the first date. He was aggressive, and that's why I gave in because it wasn't worth risking my safety. I kept asking him to calm down and stop being so aggressive. Relevant comments. Commenter. No, and don't invite first dates into your home ever again. Commenter. You're right in saying she shouldn't bring someone home, but invitation to the home is not a free pass to the bed. Men need to fucking learn that. Also, they are all blind and stupid as fuck not noticing someone saying no. Had a guy once who thought I wanted it too. I said no, and even pushed him away. So what the hell did he see that says yes? Commenter. Do not let him make it up to you. You're not wrong. And he's too old to be using the excuse he did. You are also too old to let it fly. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you enjoyed our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated with our latest ones. Have a great day.